Welcome to the Nakusp and Slocan G-Scale 1906, build number 5, December 2025. Today we're going to start adding scenery to the layout. We're going to focus on basic scenery to start with, and we will be covering the area from Brouse to Nakusp, which is about 44 feet. So let's get on with the details of how we're doing indoor G-Scale scenery.
Okay, in G-scale indoor, we use a combination of model railroading techniques that are used in other scales. So for scenery, in some spots where we want to build large fields or we want to build mountains, we use cardboard in strips tied together. With chicken wire, I use plastic chicken wire. I use some foam, styrofoam where I can, and I need to build some certain contours, and then we apply plaster. So that's pretty normal, other than the fact that the distances we're covering is from Brouse to Nakusp end to end is about 44 feet on bench work that is probably 2 to 3 feet wide. So it's a large area that we need to cover. Okay, the other aspect we use is we use what we do like on G-scale outdoors. We use real rock. So here I've got combination pails, buckets of 2-inch crushed granite, 1-inch crushed granite, half-inch crushed granite, quarter-inch crushed granite. So that I will use for riprap and retaining walls. We use sand. Sand I use in the ballast. We have river rock for doing creeks and rivers. And then we also have slate. And I use slate where all I need mountains or rock work. And I have various pieces of slate that we glue in. And then lastly, we have sawdust. And the sawdust I mix with the sand to create ballast so that it looks like dirt. And I also mix it with the green foam. So I use grass that looks like springtime. So those are all the things we use. Basically, outdoor products indoors. Okay, this is October 2025. We've started doing scenery on the Nakusp to Brouse section. So we'll just give you a little wander through, show you what it looks like before the the plaster goes in this week. So as you notice down below here, we have the chicken wire going along the edge to the edge of infinity. Up here, we've added some styrofoam with some culverts. You will notice now we do have a printed internet image background. Where we need hills, big hills, we have styrofoam. We've added some log walls along in here. And as we go down, we can see the backdrop in there. Styrofoam, backdrop styrofoam, and then chicken wire. So it's kind of a combination of all three things with wood in the middle. And we've gone down this far. And in this, when we get down here, we get out of the hills and back into more farmland. So we have a fairly large strip to do here. We've got the river, which we'll have a backdrop for. And then we've got more farmland back in here along the river edge as we come into Nakusp. And the new pole yard back here. Okay, end of November, and this is an update on how we're coming on scenery. This is the Brouse to Nakusp section. So we're at Brouse right now. What you can see is we have the plaster in now. We have the retaining walls around the trestles, and we're going to walk you down through and we can see what else has changed. So in Brouse, we have the flag stop and we have the handcar shed. Into Brouse here, we have a small little pond, and one of the things I'm going to be using is I'm actually going to use real rock slate for my rock work. And we have the small pond here, we have the culvert, and we have the other culvert coming out here. We have the backdrop with the trees, and we have the infinite edge. As we move down here, we have another bit of rock work going on. This is some more slate I just installed, and we have the retaining wall. From here, we have the infinite edge, and we have the backdrop, and this is all forestry. We're going along a 2.5% upgrade here. So what we're getting is the track gaining elevation against the backdrop in the back. And we come down here and we hit the first creek just on the outskirts of Nakusp. And we've now got the bit of water. We have the creek in the backdrop with the bridge. This would be the Arrow Lakes in the forefront. In behind, we have another farm, cow farm. Continuing from the cow farm on the outskirts of Nakusp, we have the pole yard. This is new, and we have the pole mill in the backdrop. It's built into the backdrop. We come to the second creek coming down from the mountains across the trestles and onto the Arrow Lakes. Then we're into Nakusp proper, where we now have the backdrop. Nakusp was actually up on a hill between the tracks and up
in the area, and in between that hill was a clear cut. So what we've got is we've got the Arrow Lakes, we got the yard, we have the buildings, and all these buildings are from 1906, the barge slip, and we have the going back into the forest, and along in here we have the station at the front, we have the engine facilities in the back, and we come up to the turntable.
Okay, we've added a bunch of scenery, so we're going to talk about what we've done today. First off, we have number 51, the Nakusp to Sand and Passenger Train daily, just departing Nakusp, so we'll pull out of the station here. Little 280 pulling the passenger train, and we'll just sort of let this come through here. Passing the barge slip, you can see the town in the background. And we're sitting on the Arrow Lakes right now. We've added grass, we've added rocks. As we come around the far end of Nakusp here, try to keep the engine in focus. And we're crossing the creek at the end of Nakusp. And we'll just about be heading out here to the main line. Okay, so we're going to just talk about for a few seconds things we've added. So as you can see here on the Arrow Lakes, we've added our first set of riprap holding the track up. So this is all 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 2 inch granite crush, glued in individually. Further along, we go back into the lakeside, and we have the round rock along the edge of the Arrow Lakes. And we have some more round rock over here. Up on the round rock, we have grass. The grass is a combination of green foam, crushed foam, mixed 1-to-1 with sawdust. It's May, so we have a lot of dead grass from last year, and we have the green grass growing through it. On top of that, we now have the backdrop in here. We have the creek coming down, and the other thing we've now added is we've added ballast. And the ballast is a combination of, again, in 1900, there was no rock crush, so it was all dirt. So this is a combination of sand to give us pebbles and sawdust to create the color of dirt. So we've been at ballasting. We've added the cow farm here now, with the cows and the fences. And on the other side of this creek, we've now added a horse farm. So we've got a couple farms in here now coming along. And we'll just carry on. We'll just do some more train video here now. Okay, we're just departing Nakusp here. We're on the Arrow Lakes, coming up on our first farm, the cow farm. And we have the creek in behind the bridge, going off into the distance. Coming up on the cow farm. And now we're going to start climbing the 2.5% grade up to Brouse. So a lot of grass here with the trees in the background. Working hard up the grade. Okay, working up this 2.5% grade. We're just coming up on the rock cut now. So we've got the slate, which is actually the real rock, and then we've got the log retaining wall here. And this is just heading up into Brouse. Culvert. And you can see the Brouse flag stop just in the distance there.
That ends our basic scenery work that we've done between Brouse and Nakusp. As of now, I will now move on to more detailed scenery and starting to fill in bushes and trees and various other activities. So with that, we leave you a picture of what the Nakusp waterfront looked like in the early 1900s with the lake steamers, passenger train, and station. And with that, we will end this build video.